Hi, how are you? Welcome back, everybody, to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. I'm Chief Dean Rondeau, and on my left is Captain Mark Livy, my executive officer and the guy that makes it all happen at the Wolfeboro PD. And it's hard to believe that we're in the month of February. Just absolutely amazing. So a lot of exciting things happened. Our budget was finally approved through a series of budget meetings. An awful lot of very hard work went in by the police commission and the board of selectmen and the town manager and his staff and the budget committee especially. A lot of late night meetings. The school board this year, I'm going to talk about that here in a minute with our proposal for a second school resource officer. So big handout to all those volunteers, folks, all these elected officials representing you, doing the deep dive, without a doubt, doing the deep dive into the data, doing the balancing analysis on the requests. An awful lot of late nights, a lot of hard work. In fact, the captain and I had a very late night last night, so we're a little tired this morning, but all good. This is all part of the democratic process. This is governance in action. I feel very privileged to be part of this process, and rest assured that I'm very impressed with a lot of the hard work that was put in by our elected officials, doing the right things, asking the tough questions, having discussions. As a friend of mine, former selectman, used to say, Paul O'Brien, we want to torture the data, we want to torture the numbers, we don't want to torture people. And that's very true. We want to thrash this about. We want to have good discussions. We want to look at the data. We want to look at trends. But hear me out, folks, real quick. At some point, you have to take the data and everything that you've gleaned from it, and then you have to put that into an analysis. You have to take that data, and you have to apply your own intuition and your own trend analysis and your own critical thinking, all right, and then come up with what you think is the best course of action, right? That we call that a balancing analysis. Right? That's the term for that's balancing analysis. And what you're doing is you're taking the raw data and you're putting against your own intuition, right? What is your own experiences? What is the trend analysis? Which way is society moving, for example? And I'm speaking here specifically about the school resource officer, the second school resource officer that we want to place up at the Kingswood complex. That's very important. School safety is very important to me. And we're seeing some trends that, quite honestly, folks, we just don't like. And I'm trying to set this town up for success. I'm trying to set the police department up for success, and to make sure that we do the right thing by the students, faculty, and staff at that Kingswood Regional School Complex. And that is provide a safe and secure environment for the students, faculty, and staff. No one should be afraid to go to school ever. No one should ever be afraid to go to work. It's very important to me. Having a second full-time school resource officer up there provides a very valuable resource and an asset to the school. At the same time, it shores up what I believe is a gap in our ability to provide a safe and secure environment. And that's why this is so important. So please, this will be on the warrant article. This is critical. As far as I'm concerned, there is not anything more important, in my opinion, on that ballot other than that school resource officer. Second to that will be the bond article for the public safety building. All right, critical piece of infrastructure. We need to do this. This will become a new, renovated, and expanded, built onto public safety building. This will be a gem for the town. This will house the Wolfeboro Fire Rescue Department, Wolfeboro Central Dispatch, and the Wolfeboro Police Department, right? So three town departments, three entities. Obviously, the Police Department and Central Dispatch fall under me. Fire Rescue is under Chief Tom Zardi, but a critical piece of the town infrastructure. Folks, we've done this one right. We've been looking at this in earnest since 2017. The captain and I have been looking at this in earnest, he and I, since 2016. We've been pushing this forward. We've been studying this. We've looked at every option. We heard the citizens loud and clear. You want us to stay where we're at? We are. You've said we don't care how much it is. You stay where you're at. Roger that. We got it. You're housing all three departments. This is really good. It's going to be a building that's easily going to last the town the next 50 years. And if it's properly maintained, I say the next 100 years. This is a well-designed, energy-efficient, modern facility that allows the police and fire departments and central dispatch to take full advantage of modernized technology, and allows both the police and fire to maintain their ability to take advantage of new policies and new signs that are coming out on the fire side, and new policies, and more importantly, the state CALEA, which will be enacted soon, which right now is being developed at the Police Standards and Training Council down in Concord, and it will be the standard by which all police departments will be measured. This is being pushed by the governor's executive council. Has really come out of the governor's and attorney general's law enforcement reform. It happens to be something that I'm passionate about, that I definitely agree with, and it's very important. And right now, we could not attain CALEA standards if we wanted to. The building holds us back, and that's a huge issue. So the state is moving toward CALEA. That's coming down the pike. This will set us up for success. This will set the town up for success for years and years to come. And for those that'll say we'll never be in that building for 50 years, well, I got news for you. We've been in our building now over 50 years. Over 50 years. And we have outgrown that facility, and that's leading to my next point, the next segue here. If you don't believe me, here it is. Here's your opportunity. Come on down to the PD. Come on down. Anytime that we're open, come on down. My officers will take you through on a tour. Come on down. If you think that building is serving us well, you come on down, and we will show you. And not only that, but we'll if you come during the normal duty hours, we'll get you over to the fire side, and you can jump up and down on the concrete floor, and you can feel it move. So we'll prove it to you that building needs to be renovated, needs to be repaired, it needs to be brought up to code. And that's just all there is to it, folks. So please support that. It's a well-designed building. The Board of Selectmen and the Budget Committee have worked really hard. The Budget Committee is supportive of this. You'll see on the warrant that there was a 8-0, I believe an 8-0 vote, unanimous vote by the Budget Committee. This is going to be money well spent. This is where we need to be putting our tax dollars. Can't say that enough. This is so just a great initiative. After also having attended most of the Budget Committee meetings and Board of Selectmen meetings on the budget, and listening to all the warrant articles that have been presented, I will tell you that there's not one warrant article on there that I don't agree with. I think the Board of Selectmen did a great job. The Budget Committee did a great job. Please support the operating budget for the town. That gives all of our very hard-working town departments the ability to do what they need to do in fiscal year 23 to meet all the demands and needs of the citizens. It's just the right thing to do, folks. Thank you very much, and I really support that. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to the captain for the operational update. Captain?
Thanks, Chief. Just to go on one thing with the school resource officer on that warrant article, with the numbers and the data that we did get, so you can get an explanation on it if you didn't see any of the meetings that were presented lately at the Budget Committee or the school board meeting. We did a 5-year analysis of offenses that have come in. Now, offenses are different than cases, so remember that. I know that can kind of confuse a few people. Cases is the actual work. It's the cases that come in. The offenses are the actual crimes. So we're thinking how many offenses can go with each incident or case. That's what you're looking at. So we broke it down how many offenses so everybody could see all the offenses that are happening up on that complex, or they're reported up at that complex and they could be coming from somewhere else. But that's what a school resource officer does, and they're comfortable, and the kids are comfortable with that school resource officer to take in that case and to speak with her or him and start the investigation. And it could start from up at the complex. So I just want to understand all that, what the cases and the offenses are. And we went back to 2018-19, where the offenses were in the ballpark of 29, and then it went to 40, which is a reasonable area for one officer to take care of those cases and to handle them, to investigate them. But when it starts, we had some COVID years, and then at the end of the COVID year of 2021, that's when we really noticed a really increase of offenses that have coming in. So the percentage went way up. We jumped to 88 offenses when it's only really was a half year of school, because they had a hybrid model. The first half, Wednesdays there was no school. There was only half of the school, or actually probably only a quarter of the school in Monday and Tuesday, quarter of the school in Thursday and Friday, where the other half was on remote. So, but the second half of that school year was full, and we had 88 offenses in 2021. Then we came into 2022, from 88 we jumped to 198 offenses, which came out to be 165 cases for one officer, because we put a part-time officer up there for the middle school, for the elementary schools, for the Wolfeboro elementary schools, and he gained 26 cases of those 126, but he did assist the officer who was up there to catch up. So you got to realize that. That's a lot of cases for one officer to handle. It's too much. So that's what you got to look at. You want to be able to investigate these cases, and if you're getting 3-4 a day, and one officer has to meet multiple individuals for interviews and talk to teachers and talk to staff, and then all of a sudden somebody else comes in with another case, it's a lot up there. So he's talking about safety and security, which is very important, but we're also talking about the caseload that's developing up on the complex of the school. And that's what we're looking at for that second officer, to assist for the safety and security and for the caseloads that's up there. So,
just let me add on a couple of things here. So one thing I want all of our citizens to know is that high school, middle school, grade school complex, right, what I call the Kingswood complex, right, there are 4 schools plus the art center on that complex, right? You have the high school itself, you have the VOTEC, you have the middle school, and then you have Crescent Lake School, right? So you have 4 schools plus the art center, right? At any point in time during the school year, from 7 in the morning to about 8 p.m., 2000 at night, you have, at a high point, you have just over 2,000 students, faculty, and staff on that complex at any one point in time during that day. That's a big population density. We had a school board meeting not too long ago, and that came up. That came up. In fact, I believe it was briefed, and you can watch the school board meeting. It was on the 24th of January. One of the school principals, and I just don't know which one, had said that is the largest population density in the district relative to the school. That's the largest population density in the district. So you got to remember that. We start talking about 2,000 people in one really confined location. That's a lot. By comparison, the Alton Prospect Mountain High School has 2 school resource officers assigned to it, and they have probably for the last 10 or more years. So Laconia also has a very large student, staff, faculty population density. They have multiple school resource officers assigned to their schools. So this is not a Wolfeboro only thing, right? This is not a Wolfeboro only thing. This is us saying, look, we've done the deep dive into the data. We live in the data. We've seen the gradual increase over time. We're concerned about it, and now it's a need. Now it's a need, and we need this. So those are just a couple of things that I wanted to point out. I'm going to turn it back over to the captain right now. So again, please support that. Very, very important. And also, please vote on this if you're going to see this also on the school district warrant article. Now, look, one thing I do want to point out, during the school year, that 180 or 188 school days, whatever that is, whatever it turns out to be, because, we have to take into effect snow days, the school resource officer is up there and is being paid by the district, right? He's being paid by the district. When that officer is not working at the school complex, that officer comes back to the Wolfeboro Police Department and is paid by the town of Wolfeboro, all right? So during the summer months, what happens is that officer will be on duty either downtown or on mountain bike, but will be an added resource for the town of Wolfeboro, and it's going to allow us to do things like run a mountain bike patrol unit in the downtown. Will be allow us to do better traffic enforcement in the very busy, compact portion of town. Will be assigned to those areas that allow us to assign an officer to those very busy summer areas where traditionally we've had problems, right? And I know last year one of the things that I got poked in the eye with is we didn't have enough coverage downtown. Well, I was short 2 officers last year, and then I had some officers that were out on COVID. So sure, there were some gaps in the coverage. This helps shore that up. So again, this is a good, wholesome initiative. It's cost sharing at approximately 50% between the school district and the Wolfeboro Police Department. You don't get any better than this, folks. You just don't get any better than this. Back to the captain.
Yeah, thanks, Chief. So back to operation that we're have right now with the police department. Officer Chris Dustin is in his week, I think it's 3rd week or 4th week. So he only has 12 more weeks left. He'd love to hear that. So, but he's getting closer. Every day we're getting closer to the end. And the nice part is, once he comes back, there's no FTO program. He's been with us for almost 3-4 years as part-time, and so he can just jump right back into the schedule, which is that's great, because when you get a new officer, it literally takes almost 7-8 months to get that individual into the operation and into the schedule by themselves alone on a shift. So that's a great part. We just gave a conditional offer to another individual that's going to be starting the background. So we'll get that out there. That person is certified also, so they don't have to go to the academy. So that's going to be great for the summer months. And as we're looking right now, it looks like we're full staff right now with that conditional offer, and going into the summer being full staff, that's a great thing, especially at these times. If you look around, every police department is hiring for an officer and looking for full staff. So the police department is doing well. Our cases, as you know from last year, they're up. The incidence is up, as we talked about the school. Our town is up. The incidents, the cases, the offenses, they have climbed. I'll get that all out there probably maybe next month when we close out the year in dispatch, because I believe dispatch is up to with the calls to service. But we'll get those numbers for you, and I'll compare them to the years prior, so you got something to look at. With anything else going on, we got the highway safety grants that have been approved. We have worked on a few of them. The driving while intoxicated has been out there. What's coming out pretty soon is going to be the click it or ticket. So you're going to see 2 officers eventually probably sometime, I believe it's April, May is when they do it. They give us the times, the state does, and we're up at the school, on the complexes of the school where your young drivers are there without seatbelts. That's what they're really looking at. It's really for education, to get these individual young drivers to get used to wearing a seatbelt. As we all know, once you're older than that, you don't need it, but it's always good to have in case you get into a crash. Remember that. We have some other ones, highway safety grants that will be coming out. We kind of wait for more when the snow is gone to get them out there. There's speed. There is distractive driving, which we all see out there, those phones. They just can't get away from your hand. Unfortunately, that becomes a problem. The other things we have noticed, knowing all the snow that we just had at the end of January, 3 times in a row, we just get everything all at once, is the snow on the vehicles. You've got to take your snow off your vehicles. That is a violation, and you will get pulled over for it, and you could get cited. I know our officers are out there pulling vehicles over and helping them and educating our drivers and actually helping them remove the snow. We see it. We've had some incidents that have come in, and so we're working on that. So take your snow off the vehicle, please. Any way you can. If you need help, go to a car wash. I mean, take it off at the car wash. That's another way to do it. It gets the snow off slowly, but it'll eventually get all off there. So work on that. You can't drive with a big pile of snow. It's very obvious when you're driving down the road and you got this 2 feet of snow on top of your car. You're going to get pulled over.
We see it, folks. We see it.
So dispatch, we're full staff in there. I know we're always looking for part-time. I know we have some applications that have come in, and Supervisor Mia Lyons is going to be working on that. So hopefully we get some additional staff that's coming up to help with the part-time. That's great, especially for vacation time, training, to fill those shifts. That's where part-time really comes into effect. Other than that, I don't really have too much to add on other than what the chief has mentioned today. So,
fellas, this one is for you. I'm going to give you some important dates here that you need to keep in the back of your mind. And most important, fellas, 14 February, right? You can't, you go, oh, what's 14 February? That's Valentine's Day. So go out and get your Valentine something, all right? Don't care what it is, fellas. This one's for you. This is your reminder. Do it, all right? Do it. Take care of your Valentine, all right? So we have the town's deliberative session, which is coming up, and that's going to be 7 February. And it's going to start at 7 p.m. and it's going to go until whenever it's done. It'll be at the Great Hall. So put that one if you're interested, you want to come and you have some questions or concerns, or you want to ask questions, you want to see what's going on. Hey, come on down to that and take part of that. The town's vote is going to be 14 March, at the Great Hall. And so Town Hall, Great Hall, starting at 8 in the morning and going until 7 p.m. Thank you very much. So for all you military guys out there, 0800-19 and going until 1900 hours, right? So get out there, vote. Support the town warrant article. Support the police station, fire station, public safety building bond article. That's very important. Support the school resource officer warrant article. Very important. And of course, support our request for a cruiser. We need that. I have a cruiser that desperately has to go out of service, and I need a new vehicle to replace it. Other than that, I want you all to stay safe. We know February traditionally is going to be a very cold and snowy month. So I wish you all the very best. You take care. I will see you again on Coffee and Connections with the Chief. And please stay tuned for your safety tip of the month. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. I'm Chief Dean Rondeau, and I'm with my new best friend, Cynthia, over here. Cynthia's from Tuftonboro, and Cynthia has a question for me, so I'm going to pass the mic to her. Thank you very much, Cynthia.
You're welcome, Chief. So my question is, how does Wolfeboro Police Department and the Tuftonboro Police Department work together if they do it all?
Well, that's a great question, and in fact, let me say this. I was just at a late night school board meeting just last night, in fact, and one of the selectmen made a comment that I have to agree with, and they said that for decades, going all the way back, probably 100 or so years. Now, they didn't say that, but that's my spin on it. But Wolfeboro and Tuftonboro have always been joined at the hip, and we do a lot of sharing. We share a lot of our programs with the town of Tuftonboro. Tuftonboro shares a lot of its facilities with the town of Wolfeboro. I love the Pier 19 beach area that Tuftonboro has. I take my family over there. In fact, I think it's a beautiful beach, and the town of Tuftonboro does a great job maintaining that. That is a real gem. That's a real gem. And it's the same thing with the Wolfeboro and Tuftonboro police departments. We work very well together. We always have. Chief Andy Shigori, aside from being a personal friend of mine, I think is a great chief of police. A very, very bright guy, very intelligent guy. I know he's a University of New Hampshire graduate, and fantastic chief of police. He's my go-to guy, very experienced. In fact, he has more years in law enforcement than I do, if you can imagine that. A lot of experience there, and I really like Andy a lot, and he's my go-to guy when I have difficult questions on law enforcement, constitutional law, and other things. Andy is a phenomenal resource, and he runs a great police department. Sergeant James Hathcock, another personal friend of mine. He's a great police officer. Of course, he's got a lot of years in law enforcement. He's got a lot more than me. Former Army guy. I'm an Army guy, so I liked him the minute I met him. Great resource. Jamie has trained up my officers in the past in firearms and non-lethal use of force and non-lethal use of munitions. Fantastic police officer. I know Tom LaFave very well. Incredible police officer, does a great job for the citizens over there in Tuftonboro. And more importantly, these officers do a great job for the citizens of Wolfeboro, because when we're tied up, when we're busy dealing with a crash or some other situation, they often will come over and lend a hand or will cover calls for us. And we do the same thing for them. We love backing those guys up. So we have a reciprocal agreement. We have no problem backing them up on a late night call if they're the only guy out, or if they need assistance, or if they need to use our dispatch center or a processing center for anything at all. So there's a lot of mutual quid pro quo, if you will, that goes back and forth. So we love the Tuftonboro Police Department. We work very well with them. We always have. We share a lot of criminal investigative data and information with them. So there's a lot of, if you will, police intelligence that goes back and forth on trends and crimes and cases. So we really love the Tuftonboro, the town. I love the town of Tuftonboro. I have lots of friends that live over there. Right, it is a great town, and I tell people all the time when they're looking in this area, hey, pay attention to Tuftonboro, because that's a great little town. It really is.
Nice, but Tuftonboro is best.
There you go. I would have said it just a little bit differently, but that's great to be proud of. But I will tell you, Tuftonboro's a fantastic town. We love Tuftonboro. We love the Tuftonboro Police Department. They do a great job by us, and we're happy to reciprocate whenever they need assistance. And we just love that opportunity. So I couldn't be happier with the relationship that we have with not just with the town of Tuftonboro, but also with the Tuftonboro Police Department. And I echo Linda Murray's comments that she made last night at the school board meeting. Tuftonboro and Wolfeboro have been joined at the hip, or maybe it was Jack Widmer, chairman of the school board. I can't remember. One of those two made the comment that we've been joined at the hip for a long, long time. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially the way the comment came out. And I suspect the reason for that is because of Brewster Academy, right? Back when it was Brewster Free Academy, and it was Wolfeboro, Tuftonboro kids going to. So I think that's probably how that grew up. So that's why I say it goes back probably about 100 years. Is probably when you can find that nexus, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I'm glad. I'm really glad to hear that's good news. I love Tuftonboro, but I love coming here to Wolfeboro for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You know, and it's funny because I love going to Tuftonboro and enjoying the beaches over there. I love 19 Mile Bay. I love the old Pine Cone, which has now changed hands and has now become, what is the name of that restaurant?
Branch and Vine, I believe.
Yeah, Branch and Vine. You're absolutely right.
I haven't been there yet. It's on my bucket list.
I have heard that the food there is fantastic. So I got to get over there. I haven't been over there in a while, but yeah, we have lots of friends that live in Tuftonboro. So Tuftonboro is a great, special little town. I love it, and it's got a lot to offer. So thank you very much, Cynthia, for your question.
Great. I'll see you at the beach.
You will indeed, ma'am. As soon as this snow goes away, you will indeed. Folks, thank you very much for tuning in to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. I'm Chief Dean Rondeau, and until next month, you be safe out there. Thank you. Hey everybody, welcome back to Coffee and Connections with the Chief. I'm Chief Dean Rondeau, and here is your safety tip of the month. So listen, just some observations. We're in the month of February. We know the month is cold, it's snowy, there's a lot of slush out there. One of the things that I'm seeing still continuously are expired inspection stickers. Now I just want to talk a little bit about this. Folks, this is a safety concern. These are safety issues. Yes, I know it seems like it's a tedious process to go get your vehicle inspected. I know that. I understand. I do it too, all right? I take my vehicles and have them inspected. But this gives your mechanic, your service station, an opportunity to look at the vehicle and say, hey, you've got a brake light out, you've got a plate light out, you've got a headlamp out, you need new brakes, whatever the case may be. This is meant to get those mundane but all too important issues corrected and fixed, so you are safe on the road, so your vehicle will stop when you need it to, so your vehicle will turn when it needs to and turn properly, so that your vehicle can be seen by other drivers, whether you're driving at night or during inclement weather, or more importantly, when you're stopping, right? You want those brake lights to come on to alert the drivers behind you that you're slowing or stopping in traffic, right? So critically important. So please, get your vehicles inspected. Pay attention to that vehicle maintenance. I'm seeing far too many expired inspection stickers, and you run the risk, and you do so at your own peril, okay? While you're at it, while you're getting your vehicle inspected, do two other things. Check your vehicle registration and check your driver's license and make sure you're still valid. All too often we stop somebody for an expired inspection sticker, for an expired registration, only to find out that their license too has been expired for several months or in some cases several years. So folks, please get that taken care of. Pay attention to those things, all right? The inspection sticker and the plate should match, meaning they should match color, number. If you got a brown 6, it should also be a brown 6 on your plate. If you got a yellow 6, it should be a yellow 6 on your plate. Okay. If you got the wrong colors, something's wrong. Check it out. Get it corrected. Thank you very much. Again, Chief Dean Rondeau, Wolfeboro Police Department. Thank you for Coffee and Connections with the Chief. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you next month, the month of March. Have a great day, folks. Thanks. Bye-bye.